In this episode, we ask what game sent a shiver down your spine and have you screaming into a facecam like a YouTube celebrity. Rick explores Fabletown as he checks out the first episode of Telltale's The Wolf Among Us. And I get to grips with the latest Android console to hit the market, the GameStick.
Hello and welcome to Kilobits, coming at you from our new home at the 8-Bit Gaming Bar in Falmouth.
Which I own. This is my bar.
Yup, which means that we're no longer homeless.
But you still kind of look homeless, Toby.
Yep, and the only reason that you're on the team is that you have a location we can shoot in.
As opposed to why I'm on the team, because, you know, I'm so talented.
Yeah, Fran here has talents.
Is that what we're calling them?
Yeah, it is indeed. So, Ubisoft have pushed back Watch Dogs.
I think it's marketing. I think the game is finished and ready to go. I don't think they want to tack it on the end of a bad financial year.
It has been a terrible financial year. I mean, I played Rayman Legends at yours on the 360, and I mean, I have it on Wii U.
And it's perfect on the Wii U.
Oh my god.
I don't know, I mean, the amount of hype behind that game, it could save their financial year.
What, Rayman Legends?
No, Watch Dogs.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't aware that you being unclear with your referencing was my fault.
I'm sorry, I'll just specify every game I'm talking about whenever
Please do, I require a disclaimer.
I think that the reason they pushed back Watch Dogs was because maybe it's not finished, and I would rather wait for good games like Watch Dogs rather...
To be fair, it's so weird these days to see a finished game at launch.
In fairness, nowadays games don't really get launched, they just get open beta, and then suddenly it's a game.
I don't understand why that's suddenly all right. But, I mean, okay, so aside from Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed, obviously, you know, they're both sort of coming out, and they were saying that they want to alternate those as franchises.
Yeah, if Watch Dogs does well, and I think they're hoping it would do better on the books as a new IP on a new financial year, which is why I think they've done it.
Yeah.
I think we're going to hit the start of the financial year, and Watch Dogs will be like 2 days afterwards. It'll really open the books for them again.
So wait, now you're a business owner, you know all about taxes?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
I'm claiming it back on everything.
Okay.
You think my job is easy? You try keeping a bunch of fables from killing each other.
Your eyes, the teeth. You're not really supposed to do that, are you?
The Wolf Among Us is the latest offering from the aptly named Telltale Studios, creators of the award-winning Walking Dead series of games. Although there are a great many similarities, the art style, the episodic nature of the game, the high production values, the story itself is very, very different. The game is based on the Fable series of graphic novels of Bill Willingham, and there is quite a pedigree to live up to, with the comics being in receipt of 14 separate Eisner Awards and having a large following of fans. The setting itself is of disenfranchised fairy tale characters living in New York in secrecy in a small community called Fabletown. They keep themselves hidden by the use of magical glamours,
Mr. Toad,
and try to stay as unobtrusive as possible.
if you can't afford to look human, you're going to the farm.
This is where the protagonist comes in. Bigby Wolf, the sheriff and original Big Bad Wolf, is in charge of keeping everyone in line and out of any chance of endangering the community.
You're looking for the woodsman, right?
During the course of the episode, expect to meet many traditional characters, both well-known and slightly more obscure. It's obvious they've done their homework.
You know the rule.
The graphical style is very similar to The Walking Dead, but I feel has been given an extra polish. It's fluid, it's beautiful. In fact, I don't think it's out of place to say that this is probably the best cel-shaded game engine I've ever seen. The animations are fantastic, the character design is incredibly well done. In short, it's gorgeous. The gameplay runs in the vein you may expect, a point-and-click adventure that's heavily dialogue and choice-driven. The choices are good, you always feel like you're making lasting decisions, and although you always end up at the major plot points, how you get there can be a completely different ride.
I don't have time to go into it right now.
The episode is short, but that's to be expected. My playtime was just over 2 hours for the whole thing, and I was very much left wanting more.
See anyone here laughing, Sheriff?
In summary, The Wolf Among Us is a lovingly crafted, very playable game set in a unique and incredible universe. Although it's not everybody's cup of tea, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with it, and I give it a very solid 6 out of 8.
Where's your brother?
Fuck you!
Friend on friend, at the end of the end.
Jesus Christ, Bigby. Is that you?
So is it better than The Walking Dead?
Yes.
Really?
Have you played The Walking Dead?
Yes.
But we gave Walking Dead Game of the Year.
And this would probably take it.
Whoa.
Genuinely, it was one of the... It was,
But it's a Telltale game.
yeah.
So it's exactly the same as all the other Telltale games. Brilliant, it's got a unique art style. No, Telltale have already done it.
yeah.
Oh, brilliant, it's based on a comic book.
To be
No,
fair,
Telltale have literally already done it.
We
And
gave
they
them-
did it with The Walking Dead, which is a better comic.
And it's meant to be a scary game.
It's meant to be a scary game, which ties in very nicely to our Halloween-themed episode. Lightning effects, please. That's what lightning sounds like in my brain. Okay, so we're going to be talking about horror games.
And how they can't make them anymore?
Yeah, how they... Thanks, Rick. Thanks, you fuck. You just took my entire fucking point, Rick.
Right, so
Can
you
you
can
make-
shut up for the rest of this bit. So,
Brilliant! Great.
what do you think of horror games currently? You know, you've got
Currently-
Amnesia and the Rift and all that kind of.
Well, as was commented on my Amnesia quick bit, apparently I'm not affected by horror games anymore.
Oh, see, I'm the complete polar opposite.
Oh, you
Like,
jumped at
I-
Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion.
I'm sorry, did you just describe Luigi's Mansion as a horror game?
Got ghosts.
Okay, you know what else has ghosts?
Toby's back.
Ghosts don't exist. Okay? How can you be scared of something that doesn't exist?
Because it's a video game.
Okay, I'm scared of the giant sucking abyss that happens after death.
So basically, what you're saying is, if they made a video game in which you were like forever alone and had no friends, you would be scared because it's
Oh,
so
Toby
realistic.
Simulator 2013.
Oh, fantastic.
But it's no Silent Hill 2.
Oh my Christ, now that's a scary game. You see, we can't make horror games anymore.
We're at a point where we could all sit around and go, oh, they don't make them like that anymore.
I'm too young for that.
Back in my day, we used to sit around Xbox. Actually, it wasn't even Xbox. We used to sit around PS1.
PS1 and hide behind the sofa.
And games had to be scary because of gameplay
Talking
rather than
of
jump scares.
Scary PS1 games. When I was a kid,
Okay.
Heart of Darkness on the PS1, like that scared the fuck out.
What, the kid and his dog?
And yeah, and I was scared by like Abe's Odyssey. Everything was scary.
What's
to me.
the earliest game that ever scared you?
Holy shit. Okay, Clock Tower on SNES. Now that's a game
Yeah,
that...
that game has some scary pixels.
I'm sorry, are you saying that graphics are more important to you than atmosphere?
No, I just think that would piss you off.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Now, can you... Okay, so, Rick, what about you? When's your first scary game?
Resi 2.
It's an action game. It's got lickers in it.
No, it started off really nice. Survival horror, that was the genre, and now like it went. 1 was great, 2 was better, 3 was bad, 4, 5, 6. Oh god, it's the death of Resident Evil. But he's doing a new one, isn't he? Which looks stunning.
The horror genre doesn't exist anymore because people want things faster. They want things sort of to be more exciting. Demon's Souls is seen as a horror game.
The decline of it's very much in keeping with how films have taken horror. There's no horror films anymore. It's all teen slasher gore films.
No!
That's definitely unfair.
Daniel Radcliffe's fantastic The Woman in Black.
Holy
I went to see it because
Which is kind of, yeah...
Because I was like, it's at 12, therefore I will be able to watch this and I won't get... I was shitting myself.
You were scared by The Woman in Black. The only thing that I was scared about was the fact that they were trying to take Daniel Radcliffe as an adult.
But it's like a traditional horror movie with like, the haunted house.
Yeah, but he's got a son in it and he's like, okay, son, are you prepared? Are you ready? And it's just like, you're 12, Dan. You're 12 and an alcoholic.
But there was a haunted house, which brings us
Fair
nicely
effort.
back to Luigi's Mansion, which is legitimately a scary game.
Luigi's Mansion is not a scary game, okay?
I'm going to disown Fran by the end of this.
The fact that you're talking about it in the same vein as like Silent Hill is truly distressing.
But that's okay, because I haven't played Silent Hill,
You've never
but I
played
have.
Silent Hill?
Oh, you would actually poo yourself.
Yeah. Okay, the thing about Silent Hill, okay, once again, I mean, it's things that don't exist.
Oh, so it's not scary because they don't exist.
Yeah, but no, that's the thing. But they do exist because everything in the game is a manifestation of the subconscious of the protagonist.
So if it's a game where the protagonist is going crazy, then it's legitimately scary.
Exactly.
But if it's zombies and what have you,
okay,
then
zombies
you don't
aren't
care.
zombies aren't scary.
Well, no, zombies aren't scary.
Okay, especially not when... Okay, zombies were scary right up until the point where we introduced voice acting. I hope this isn't Chris's blood.
No,
It might be best if you, the master of unlocking.
Wow, you were almost a Jill sandwich.
You know what is scary? You know the bit in
Oh,
Bioshock?
but I still love that game beyond
Sorry,
anything
let
else.
Fran talk.
You know the bit in Bioshock with the mannequins where you leave and then you come back and they've moved? That is like...
Okay, that is scary, but that's because that's based on System Shock.
Fuck mannequins.
Better game, which did horror far better.
Oh, System Shock 2.
System Shock 2 is a fucking scary-ass game.
Do you think you can defeat us with your wire and steel?
Do you reckon the future of horror games is first person? Is it all about the perspective?
I think that it's the laziest way to do it, because it gives you the most feedback, which means that you need to do the least effort in your game design.
But surely horror games are about immersion. Like,
Yeah,
that's
or-
the same with films. It's all
I know,
about you being
yeah,
in that
okay.
situation.
Yeah,
so if
but
it's not
that's
first
fine.
person, how are you going to be scared?
But that's the thing. To be immersed, it doesn't need to be first person. I mean, I'll get immersed in The Legend of Zelda. I'll get immersed in Tetris.
Yeah, but you're
The
playing
fact
it. You
that-
don't believe that you are Link when you're playing it. You're just like...
Yeah, he does.
He's clearly never played The Legend of Zelda.
What I'd like to see is a first person horror game that doesn't use the bloody camcorder perspective.
Oh god, you're talking about Outlast and Slender and this slew of modern first person low budget.
How do we get a HUD on a first person game without breaking? I could use my camcorder.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing. I mean, look at things like Amnesia. They are the future of horror. Okay, I mean, this is the road we're going down. We're losing a lot.
I am unsold on that.
See, camcorder based horror, it just makes me feel really sick.
What motion sick? Or,
Yeah, like if I ever played that in the Rift, I would be...
Oh, now Rift is something that doesn't need the camcorder. Dreadhalls.
Yeah, no, Dreadhalls, because the Rift obviously has that level of immersion, Dreadhalls was just probably the scariest experience I've ever had.
I tried
But
to play it
isn't that
again
a
last
modern-
night. I lasted about a minute
Yeah.
and a
A
half.
modern scary game?
Yeah, but...
Is it good?
Yeah, oh my god, it's so good. But...
Oh, here we go.
But it's not as good as the old days.
No, I wouldn't rate it next to.
No, you wouldn't
Silent
rate
Hill.
it next to Silent Hill 2, but it does do things in a very clever sort of... It's very psychological in that there's no jump scares. Everything's sort of... You look away and it's like the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who.
So do you think
Oh
that
god,
then-
yeah, you found the woman, didn't you?
Holy shit.
I found the gargoyle.
I was
That's even
like
worse.
checking my map. I was like, now where do I have to...
So do we think that VR as a whole is the future of horror gaming, or is it just a cop-out, like an easy way to get people scared?
I know that your opinions on the Rift are way more favourable than mine.
That's because I love the Rift. I think the Rift is a big step forward, and it's going to be a huge asset to a large number of genres of gaming. But the future, I'm not sure I'd go that far because
The Rift is a tool. The Rift is an absolute tool to try and give your game immersion where you don't actually have the talent to give your game immersion. I've got literally no problem with the Rift. I played Hawk.
for the record, you jizzed your pants about 6 times playing the Rift.
It was a fantastic experience, but I can't help but think that
It doesn't make a game good.
no.
Fair
it
enough,
really
so you need
doesn't.
good games, and
You
it
need-
adds an edge. But what about people at home? Like, do you guys think that...
The people at home.
Yeah, do they...
Everyone has an opinion, especially Toby.
This is YouTube. They might not be at home. Okay, they could be on the bus.
Okay, people on the toilet.
People on the bus.
Yeah, if you're pooping right now, give us a like. We could do with them.
So yeah, what do you guys think about the Rift? Like, do you think it's the next step in horror? Do you think it's a cop-out? Have you played it? Are you really excited
What
about
do you
it?
guys think about horror in general? Please leave us a comment below. We'd really appreciate it.
Just straight
I'm going
up.
to keep talking so Rick can't.
The future of big screen portable gaming is here.
With the next generation of gaming consoles looming on the horizon, like that one attention-seeking friend we all have, you may have overlooked one gaming platform as it huddled tentatively in the corner: the GameStick. Having recently hit the shelves, the question is, does this new console by PlayJam make up for the so far lackluster Android console market? In short, no. Released October 29th, the GameStick follows the typical Android console model, raising over $600,000 in funding via Kickstarter, with a target of just $100,000. But successful Kickstarters don't necessarily lead to successful products. Starting off with the console itself, the GameStick consists of a controller and a USB drive-esque HDMI stick. With so little to the product, you'd expect PlayJam to nail it, but they just missed the mark. The controller is not ergonomically designed. With no comfortable resting place, I found my pinkies flailing wildly beneath the controller, and I have small hands. The button layout is almost identical to that of the 360 controller, yet the thumbsticks are just too big. They feel cumbersome to the touch. All the buttons make a delightfully plasticky sound when clicked. The start and back controls are awkwardly situated, such that during gameplay they cannot be intuitively pressed. I had to look at the controller when prompted to press either of them. The worst aspect of the controller for me, however, is that I'm aware of the controller when playing games. It's this nagging sensation resting in my hands, when ideally a controller should be a fluid connection between yourself and the game. Moving from hardware to software now, it's definitely worth mentioning the operating system. This could easily be described as a cross between the 360 home screen and BBC iPlayer. The 360 due to its box-based arrangement, and iPlayer due to the distinctive pink and grey colour scheme. Other than these similarities, the design cannot be faulted. It looks good. In terms of usability, the OS is simple to navigate, and you aren't left pondering how to find, play, or download games. Setup was straightforward, taking around a half hour from unboxing to play. The OS isn't flawless, however. When navigating the on-screen keyboard, you have to tap for each letter change. You cannot just hold right and scroll across from Q to P, for example. This is incredibly frustrating when having to type in your password, which you must enter every single time you request to download a game. Considering I haven't chosen to set up any parental controls, this just seems unnecessary. The operating system also leaves you at a loss as to what to do once you're done playing. There's no off button. Leaving the GameStick on just feels inherently wrong, as does unplugging it from the HDMI port without turning it off or specifying that I intend to safely remove hardware. These issues, while small in themselves, are irksome enough due to how often they occur, to an extent that they noticeably bring down the quality of a very well executed operating system. From here, the next logical step is to talk about the games and gameplay itself, seeing as that is the intended purpose of the GameStick. The GameStick comes with 8 GB of internal memory, but as each game is currently only around the 40 MB mark, it shouldn't fill up too quickly. Games are all priced around the £3 mark, which seems reasonable until you realise that they are all arcade games. PlayJam tries to hide this fact by labelling them as shooter, racing, adventure, and action. However, once you start to play the games, this is soon shown to be a farce. I don't know why I didn't expect this from an Android-based console, seeing as currently the majority of games made for Android are designed to be played on your phone. Visually, the games look decent, and the music in some of them is a delight to the ears, but I was hoping for something a bit fleshier. Every title feels incredibly generic. There's nothing new or innovative. There are plenty of games which challenge you to beat your high score. Take Catcha Catcha Aliens, for example. This game is just Temple Run with a bug catching net. And then there's Ski Safari, where you have to see how far you can run away from an avalanche whilst brutally fashioning penguins into skis as you go. The one arcade game I actually enjoyed was Nightmare Tower. Although it falls into the same genre as the other two, when I lost I actually wanted to try again. There are missions and unlocks that made me want to play on, and it's managed to get its charming, cartoony look spot on. But this was for me the one gem in a sea of poor quality arcade. The kind of games you play on your phone whilst you're waiting for a bus. The one game I found that doesn't appear to be an arcade game was also free. Shadowgun is an actual shooting game. Sadly, it does nothing to ameliorate my opinion of the current games lineup, as it is also complete garbage. The creators seem to have hashed together the third-person shooter, chest-high wall, duck-and-cover elements of Gears of War with the space-based elements of Halo. You even have your very own Cortana in the form of a computerized companion, Sarah, or S-A-R-A. Give me back, Jen Taylor, please.
Roger that.
I could overlook the overbearing similarities if the game was actually fun, but instead I got shoddy controls. Shooting will randomly stop, despite the fact that there is ammo in the clip and I'm holding the trigger. And aiming is jerky and inaccurate. Not that the enemies move particularly much. Unfortunately, Shadowgun is just a bad game, and it adds yet another nail to the launch lineup coffin. With the currently abysmal game lineup combined with its dodgy controller, I found the GameStick seriously just underwhelming. Whilst PlayJam advertises its affordability and portability as its main selling points, The games lineup just isn't there to make it a success. For me, I would just pay a little extra and shell out for a 2DS. 2 out of 8 bits. GameStick? More like lame stick.
Is that how you're giving it? 2 out of 8?
Yes, legitimately.
And why? Can you defend that? Because I think that this thing is lovely to hold.
But regardless of whether they've nailed the controller or not, which I don't think they have.
Yeah, but you have tiny needle hands.
The games that they've released aren't fun games, and why would you buy a console if you weren't going to play fun games? There's nothing to the games. There's nothing new. There's nothing innovative. It's just Android games, and they don't have a touchpad, so you can't port them. It's just, I just feel like at the moment the games lineup in the market doesn't warrant buying the console. I wouldn't buy it.
The thing that I can't stand is this sort of almost technological elitism of it. Because if you don't have an HD TV, it's dead to you. And I mean, most people do, but the idea is like this retro chic console, and they've completely ruled out the retro market.
Yeah, that is true. I
love the pad though.
Yeah, the pad is lovely.
But regardless if people love the pad, if you love the pad, the games are just poor.
Well, the console's not out. I mean, you can't say whether or not it's going to be supported yet.
Do you expect that developers are going to develop some amazing games for the Android market? No, because there is no market.
I think what we've really got here is a really nice concept for what is a flawed market.
Yeah, and I would agree with that.
I would agree 1000% with you, Rick.
And that's what we can conclude on the game.
So we're done on the GameStick then.
So that's about 25% good, is what you're saying. Fantastic. Well, we're slowly running out of time, which means that it's competition time, and this is the first time that we've had a competition in quite a while, so I'm kind of excited about that.
We're giving away a Hearthstone beta key, and the question is this. Hearthstone is obviously a Warcraft trading card game. What game would you turn into a card game, and why?
Kid Icarus, right there. You got a button for jump, button for shoot bow. Okay, those are 2 kinds of cards right there.
Got 3 cards in your entire game.
About 3 cards in the whole game. It'd be fantastic. It'd be like Snap.
We could have like a Kilobits card game, and there could be like shameless plugs.
Oh,
be a Facebook card.
You'd need a drinking card.
No, you idiot. She was putting us into the plug. It was a beautiful segue, and you ruined it.
Oh, you mean like the like and subscribe buttons below?
Well done, Rick.
You could have a like and subscribe card. You could have a Facebook card. What would it say on it, Toby?
I think that the Facebook card would say, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Kilobits, and I'm not going to allow you to continue with this terrible card game idea.
What would the Twitter card say, Toby?
The Twitter card could say that you can find us on Twitter at the Kilobits. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I'm going to go and put a 38 up against the soft palate of my mouth because of this final take.
This is the Toby card, this is the Rick card, and I've been Fran. Thanks for watching.